Welcome to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with Rebecca Hall Gruyter. In our program each week, we provide the tools, ideas, and encouragement to help you move ahead on your journey, becoming a more powerful and impactful woman in your own life. Now here's your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter.
Welcome, everyone. I hope that you're having an amazing day. Honored to be connecting in with you. And can you believe it's almost the end of March? I can't believe how quickly the month has flown by. And I have been focusing, and we have been focusing on how to keep that forward momentum going as we lean into next quarter and throughout the year. How do we keep that focus that matters to us? How do we keep moving forward those things that at the beginning of the year were really important for us to bring forward? And I think it's actually in the pauses, when we remember to stop and pause and center, refocus, listen to our heart, really see what is most important to us, paying attention to what we're thinking and what we are receiving in. What are we feeding into ourselves? What are we reading? What are we watching? What are we listening to? How are we aligning those things to support us so we can continue to move forward? Today, we have an amazing guest who I love and adore, and she's someone who I feel like really comes from that powerful heart space, is very aligned with those things that matter most to her and committed to really bringing them forward. So we're going to focus on what I call wisdom from the heart. We take a moment to really stop, pause, and listen. We want to support you in those pauses, in that recentering, so that you're able to choose how you navigate forward, not just having us in reactionary mode or the day running us, but we're getting to choose how we navigate. So as we come together, I want to encourage you to take a pause, take a break, take a deep breath in. This time is for you. Breathe out, releasing what no longer serves, creating room and space for more. This is your time, an opportunity to keep breathing, slow down, be poured into, to receive, to quiet and shut out all that other noise, so that you're able to be still and listen and receive those things that are most supportive of you. In fact, let's close our eyes. We're absolutely safe as you take another deep breath in through the nose, all the way to your toes. Wiggle them. Make sure they're getting air and oxygen too. Beautiful. And then breathe out. Let's take a moment, eyes closed. You're absolutely safe. And put both hands on your heart. And as you do that, and you slow down and tune in, and take a moment to feel your heart beat. And notice it. And as you tune in, what is it whispering to you in between those beats of the heart? What is it reminding you of? Encouraging you with? As we take a moment to lean in, to really hear, listen, and receive to that wisdom of the heart, what do you need? What do you need today, real time, to support you on your journey? Just see. See what comes forward. What do you need that you are willing to receive, because you absolutely have choice? Just take a moment and hear, receive, remember. Beautiful. Let's take that information in. Take another deep breath. Come back into the room, eyes open, fully present, and take a moment and write down what was laid on your heart, what you noticed, what you were reminded of, maybe even encouraged by? What is it that you need and are willing to receive? By writing it down, you keep it top of mind. You start to co-create it. It's not just swirling around inside of you, but it becomes something you can interact with and keeps it top of mind. Because my intention, what's laid on my heart as we go through our time together today, is that we're able to help you move that forward, whatever it is that you need. Perhaps it'll be something that sparks a new thought or consideration, encourages you, supports you. Be leaning in with anticipation and excitement to discover or hear or have a new way of looking at things as we go through our time together today, that it supports you, lifts you up, and empowers you on your journey. Be leaning in and listening for those things to help you bring those things forward that matter most to you. And with that, Misty, I'd love to hear what was laid on your heart when we took a moment to stop, pause, and listen.
The word that comes to mind for me is gratitude. I am grateful to be here and grateful to be able to talk with you and, share my perspective on things. So gratitude, definitely. But I also see the word shine too. So very excited to be here.
I'm thrilled to have you here. What a beautiful mixture. I love that place of gratitude and really being thankful and appreciative and grateful, and also tied to shining, sharing out, that you're sharing that gratitude, you're sharing out is beautiful. I love how that's this place of really sitting and being grateful and thankful and reaching and sharing out. Beautiful share. Thank you, Misty.
Thank you.
And listeners, how about you? What was laid on your heart? How did what Misty shared or what was laid on mine interact with what was placed on your heart? This is a conversation that we're all having together, an opportunity to connect energetically, mindfully, and purposely as we come together. And as we go to this first commercial break, I want to encourage you to stay present. Resist the urge to run around and do things and cross things off the to-do list. Choose to be present in this heart space and allow all those things that are bubbling up to be heard and received. And we'll continue our conversation in just 2 minutes.
Follow Voice America at facebook.com/Voice America for juicy updates from your favorite radio shows and podcasts.
Announcing a powerful new TV channel featuring programs designed to enhance and transform your life. Make powerful connections, one program at a time. And by doing so, we can bring transformation to the world. Tune in each week to Empowered Connections TV as we add new programs to help you make empowered connections of your own. Visit empoweredconnectionstv.com. That's empoweredconnectionstv.com. And make the most of an incredible life transformation.
Voice America programs are now available on your favorite connected device, including Amazon, Alexa, and Google Home. Through streams with Apple Podcasts, TuneIn, and iHeartRadio, listening to your favorite show is as easy as saying the show name followed by the word podcast.
Hey, Alexa, play Finding Your Frequency podcast.
If that doesn't work, try adding on TuneIn or on iHeartRadio or on Apple Podcasts.
Rebecca Hall Gruyter's Speaker Talent Search is looking for speakers wanting to get on more stages. With just one audition, you could open the doors to hundreds of speaking opportunities, reach more people, and expand your impact. Finalists get to audition live in front of leaders looking to fill all kinds of speaking opportunities. Apply now at SpeakerTalentSearch.com. That's SpeakerTalentSearch.com. We look forward to hearing your message.
It's your world. Motivate, change, succeed. VoiceAmericaEmpowerment.com.
You're listening to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with your host, Rebecca Hall-Gruyter. If you have a question or comment for Rebecca or her guest, we'd love to hear from you.
Please call into the program at 1-888-346-9141. That's 1-888-346-9141.
You may also send an email to Rebecca at yourpurposedrivenpractice.com. Now back to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope you enjoyed those 2 minutes. I see commercials as an opportunity to, of course, update you and let you know about things that are going on that we believe are supportive and would be interesting to you. And it's also a time for you to pause and center and listen and really see what's coming up within ourselves. I find the world can get so noisy. We can get distracted. We can get pulled a lot of different directions. And when I remember to take those commercial breaks or standing in a long line or pausing at a red light to actually see that as something that's supportive of me, that I get a moment, I get a time out, I get a moment to take a break and breathe and notice things around me. It helps my day flow so much more powerfully. I find I'm more focused and I'm able to bring forward those things that matter most. So I encourage you to really utilize those breaks. We've built them into the show on purpose to support you. And as we're coming back, we've been talking about really listening to the heart, that wisdom, that insight, choosing how we navigate forward, what we're listening to, what we're bringing in. I'm really excited to introduce our guest. You got to hear from her on a heart level. She is someone that has become so near and dear to me like family. And I was getting emotional before the show because I'm excited to share her with all of you. She is someone that is on our team. She's the director of operations within our organization. And I have the privilege and the honor of getting to work with her every day. And I know you're going to get a little taste of Misti today and see what I'm talking about, how special she is, and someone who really comes from the heart in all that she does. So let me introduce her a little more formally. So Misti Mazurik is a #1 international best-selling author. She holds a master's in political science and is a certified teacher. She's a lifelong learner. And it is her joy to work with the authors at her amazing co-workers at RHG Media Productions, and where she is the director of operations. And she's absolutely passionate about helping you shine. Please lean in. Warmly welcome the powerful, dynamic, and heart-centered Misti Mazurik to the show. Welcome.
Oh, thank you, Rebecca. And I'm so glad that I'm not the only one that was getting emotional, because I feel the exact same way about you.
Aw. Well, I'm sending you a hug through the airways as we connect today and have this special time together. And I wanted to just share, you and I were having a conversation the other day, and you were sharing with me what you say when people ask what you do. And it was one of your favorite questions to answer. So I would love for you to share, when someone says, Misti, what do you do? I'd love for you to share with us today.
Well, I make people's dreams come true. And I absolutely love it. And it's always a great conversation starter. It's my elevator pitch, I suppose.
I love that. So when somebody hears that and they lean and they go, well, what do you mean? I'd love for you to share. What do you mean? How do you make people's dreams come true?
Well, it always definitely leads to that next question. No one has ever walked away from that question and not asked a follow-up question. Mm-hmm. I tell people that, everybody has a story to tell. Everyone has a story to tell. And I help, along with the amazing, amazing team at RHG Media Productions, I help authors bring their stories to life and bring them to people and help them shine.
I love that. And why is it important that we bring these stories forward, in your opinion? Why does it matter that we take that time, that risk, that courage, find that courage to share our stories?
It definitely does take the courage to do that. And, I've always known that it took courage, and it took courage for me to bring a part of my story to the pages of a book. But it's so important because everybody has a unique perspective, and everybody can help somebody. Everybody. I'm a helper. That's what I do. That's my love. That's my joy. And if I help one person in a day, or I help one person with the book that I was a part of, then I'm a happy camper.
I love it. I love it. One of the things, and I know you touch on this in the book that you participated in, but it's a philosophy that you have that, especially when those hard or challenging things happen, and you and I have been on this journey together in life for a while and have navigated through things together. And I always hear you say, well, this has happened for me, not to me. So you really believe things happen for people, even those hard things, those challenging things, not to us. Do you mind sharing a little bit about that and how that's helped you navigate forward through challenging things?
Well, I think you have to look at it that way. I think looking at it as happening for me is very powerful. If you look at it as something as it happened to me, it takes away your power. And, in this world, you have to have that power. And if it happened for me, then there's got to be a reason, even though it may not be evident right in that moment. Maybe it takes a couple weeks, maybe it takes a couple months, but look for that silver lining in why something happened. Look for it, because, we can't concentrate on the negative. Negativity will absolutely do nothing but bring you down. So we look for that positivity.
Beautiful. And I love that. And to me, that's a very empowering process, and it gives you power versus taking it away and feeling like you can't do anything or that you're trapped or helpless, but really finding that how it is for you and embracing that, I think, is just a really powerful process. So I love that you embrace this. And you recently participated in an anthology, Share Your Brilliance. And for those of you who aren't familiar with what an anthology is, it's a book compilation. It's where multiple authors come together and they each write a section or a chapter, and it's all under a common theme. So it's bringing many voices and rich experience together into one powerful book that can be really impactful and exciting. You get to bring it forward in community and share it out in the world. And you participated in one of these, Share Your Brilliance. And I'd love for you to share why you decided to be part of an anthology and what you shared in it.
Well, I will tell you that Share Your Brilliance appealed to me in the title alone because of the sharing your brilliance can have many meanings. Your brilliance in terms of your intelligence, your brilliance in your ability to shine. And it called to me. And I also wanted to know what our authors experience. I wanted to feel that so that I can better help them on their journey. And it truly was an incredibly helpful thing. And I loved it on so many different levels.
I love that. Is there, as you reflect back, was there a favorite part of the process or moment that comes to your heart?
Well, it was extremely emotional, and it was amazing to have a group of powerful women who were also going through that journey and were emotional. So it was very supportive. As a first-time author, it was very supportive to have these amazing women by my side and we got to share how we felt and what we were thinking. And it was amazing. It was absolutely amazing. And just, it was very calming for me because I'm not sure how I would have reacted if I hadn't had that support of these amazing women. So.
I love that. And I was the compiler of that particular project. So the compiler leads the vision and takes care of all the steps on the journey, making sure everything falls into place correctly as we bring it forward. And it was that particular book had a really diverse group of women, very different perspectives and backgrounds, but this common heartbeat. And it was really neat to lead that particular project. And I do remember some of those behind the scenes calls and shares where we just got to speak from our heart, create that space, be vulnerable, be excited, learn and grow together and impact each other. As this book was then step by step brought forward and shared out into the world and was received very, very powerfully. It became a #1 international bestseller, reached a lot of hearts and lives around the world, and continues to ripple out there. And I'm curious, as you look back on that and reflect on the journey, is there a moment that stands out for you?
I think the moment that stands out for me, I wasn't sure that I was going to be emotional. I thought, okay, I was emotional writing it, yes, but when it came time to share it with the world, I was very surprised at how emotional I was, and it was like I was sharing myself with the world, and I am a very private person. So it was very freeing. And, it's something that I'm not sure that I'll ever forget that feeling. I did journal throughout the day, so I have that journal. So it's one of my prized possessions.
I love that. It is vulnerable to share out and trust the world with your message and part of you. And it's a huge, huge gift. So thank you for leaning into that project and sharing. And for those of you who are saying, I would love that book, I want to know more. So you can find it on Amazon, Share Your Brilliance. You can look it up by my name or Misti's, and you will see it there. And just for those who are saying they want to know more about you and your story, do you mind sharing just a couple key points that you cover in your beautiful chapter?
Well, it was very, I know in the beginning you talked a little bit about what we allow in, and that was a big part of my chapter, was talking about things that make you, that produce positivity. I love the television show Grey's Anatomy, and my husband would go off to work and I would sit down and maybe watch an episode of it. And I found that throughout my day, there was no reason for it, but I had what I called residual sadness all day. There was no reason for it. There was no reason. Nothing had happened or anything like that. And I finally came to realize that I was watching these stories, and while my head knows that these are stories and they're not really happening, my heart was so involved with it that it gave me a little bit of sadness throughout my day. And while I still love Grey's Anatomy, I consider it to be one of my favorite shows. But unfortunately, it was not leading me to a positive place. So therefore, I had to remove it from my life. And I don't have that residual sadness. And that's just one of those things that I guess you have to live without to have that positive life.
Well, and I love that you were proactive in finding ways, either removing certain things or creating space for certain things to be able to choose that positive life and energy that you want around you and you want through you. And I know you also share a little bit about meeting your husband and how things circumstances were for you in that. So a little bit of a cliffhanger for those who are interested in just learning a little bit about that journey that she's willing to share. And it was tied to one of those things that were frustrating or challenging for her that happened for her and the beautiful place that led to. Anything you'd like to add to that?
No, I think that is. Do you want me to tell you how I met my husband, or are we going to wait a little while for that?
Well, I was going to wait a little while, build a little bit of a mystery, if that's okay.
Oh, that's fine. That is fine.
Because there's so much that can be accomplished in a chapter as people lean in to share core messages and some of their stories. So we are getting ready to go to our next commercial break. And as we do so, remember, these 2 minutes are for each and every one of you. And we'll continue our conversation in just a moment.
A little birdie told me Voice America is on X. Follow us at Voice America TRN.
Rebecca Hall Gruyter's Speaker Talent Search is looking for speakers wanting to get on more stages. With just one audition, you could open the doors to hundreds of speaking opportunities, reach more people, and expand your impact. Finalists get to audition live in front of leaders looking to fill all kinds of speaking opportunities. Apply now at SpeakerTalentSearch.com. That's SpeakerTalentSearch.com. We look forward to hearing your message.
Voice America programs are now available on your favorite connected device, including Amazon, Alexa, and Google Home. Through streams with Apple Podcasts, TuneIn, and iHeartRadio, listening to your favorite show is as easy as saying the show name followed by the word podcast.
Hey, Alexa, play Finding Your Frequency podcast.
If that doesn't work, try adding on TuneIn or on iHeartRadio or on Apple Podcasts.
Announcing a powerful new TV channel featuring programs designed to enhance and transform your life. Make powerful connections, one program at a time. And by doing so, we can bring transformation to the world. Tune in each week to Empowered Connections TV as we add new programs to help you make empowered connections of your own. Visit empoweredconnectionstv.com. That's empoweredconnectionstv.com. And make the most of an incredible life transformation.
It's your world. Motivate, change, succeed. VoiceAmericaEmpowerment.com.
You're listening to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter. If you have a question or comment for Rebecca or her guest, we'd love to hear from you. Please call into the program at 1-888-346-9141. That's 1-888-346-9141. You may also send an email to Rebecca at yourpurposedrivenpractice.com. Now back to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope you enjoyed those 2 minutes just for you. And we had a little bit of a cliffhanger when we were talking about the chapter that Misti shared in Share Your Brilliance. And I wanted to make sure we shared so you weren't left hanging and wondering, okay, great, I'm glad she met somebody, but how does this all work? So with that, Misti, I'd love for you to share just a little bit more for those who are interested in seeing how circumstances worked for you with that shift in attitude and perspective.
Well, I was going through a particularly difficult day, and my grandmother had just passed. And in that moment, I had a decision to make whether I would honor a commitment that I had made months before, or whether I would let my grief kind of overwhelm me. And I decided that the commitment, of course, would absolutely come first. And so I followed through with my commitment. And in that moment, in that following that path, even though I could have chosen, to play the victim and say, my grandmother died, this happened to me. But instead, I decided to go out and honor that commitment And in that commitment, I actually met my husband. So I don't want to give it all away because then I'd give my whole chapter away. And and then you'd have no reason to read it. So
I love it.
It's a beautiful story, and I was thrilled to share it. A little emotional, but thrilled to share it. So.
Oh, thank you. So that's just a little something you can look forward to in reading Misti's chapter, and share your brilliance that you can find on Amazon if that's something that calls to you, and see the expanded version of that journey and some of her beautiful perspective and wisdom that she gained and continues to bring forward and share. So as we come together today, I know you have leaned into being part of another project called Wisdom from the Heart. And this is another anthology. So a group of authors are coming together. And this one is what we call a 365-day anthology. So it's a daily inspiration book where each of the authors are coming together and writing 12 different inspirations, one for each month. And that way the readers can follow it along like through a calendar, January 1st, 2nd, 3rd, or they can look in the back and see something, boy, I need encouragement, or I'm struggling with fear, and it'll give them an inspiration to read around that. So they're really amazing books when they come all together. I'm very excited that you've leaned in to be part of this one. This will be the third one that we've created, and they're always very well received. I'll be leading it. They're one of my favorite things. I love leading anthologies, and I'm very excited that you've leaned into this particular one. And I was curious, from your perspective, why did being part of another anthology, and particularly this one, call to you?
This one called to me again, just from the title, Wisdom from the Heart. I am a huge, huge fan of quotes. I write them down. I think that they're very powerful, and quotes are very, very helpful in keeping a positive outlook from my perspective. And this one just called to me for that reason, because again, you're going to have a diverse group of people who are coming together to share their wisdom and share their heart. And so, number one, I'm so excited to be a part of it. And number two, I'm so excited to meet everybody that is a part of it and who is going to be a part of it. And it's just such a powerful thing to get to know that something that you've written is going to be in somebody's hands for an entire year or longer. So I think it's going to be such a powerful book, and I'm so excited to be a part of it.
Mm-hmm. I love that. And I think it is such an honor and an opportunity that we can pour into others those one pause, one day, one moment at a time, in those quotes or those short inspirationals or thoughts for the day, I think can make such I shouldn't say I think, I know, and I believe makes such a difference in our daily life. And having that bite-sized piece that we can take just a couple minutes as we're pausing and take those 2 minutes and read something like that and let it pour into us, it can shift our focus. It can bring encouragement in a second. It can give us hope. It can help shift how our day is going and how our life is going as it pours into us. And in an anthology like this, those who lean into being part of it, it's like we get to be part of that, creating that ripple, pouring into others in those little bite-sized pieces that can make such a difference. So hopefully listeners can hear, I'm very excited about it. Looking forward to seeing it all come together. And as Misti was sharing, those who choose to be part of it, We are taking authors right now, that there's an opportunity for those of you who are wanting to be a published author, wanting to pour into others. Maybe you're already a published author, and this is an opportunity to continue to share your wisdom and your insight and perspective with more people. Perhaps this is dipping your toe into the water, an opportunity for you to start sharing your voice and message in a very supportive community, a way for us to come together and lift each other up as we weave together a book that can make such a difference in so many people's lives. So I'm personally very honored and excited to read it. I know it's going to read it. It's going to make such a difference in so many hearts and lives. And Misti is one of our amazing authors that I'm honored to share with you today. Excited to have her leaning in, and can't wait to see all whose hearts are called. And I love something I heard Misti say about both projects is she felt pulled, she felt called, drawn to be part of it. And I always feel like that's how you know a project's something to be part of. You feel that pull, that excitement, that calling almost to be part of it. Those are the ones you say yes to. It could be that you think, well, that's a neat, logical opportunity. I think that's a great thing. That means maybe that type of a project's a great one to investigate in and look in. But if it's not calling you, that particular anthology, that particular project isn't the one that is calling you. So what I encourage you to do as we share a little bit about this, think about those projects, including this anthology opportunity, and see which ones are calling you. Those are the ones to make room for, to find a way to say yes to step forward into. If they're not calling you, it's just interesting, then that's a no. Keep looking for that one and that opportunity that calls to you. And I'm just going to share a couple more thoughts, and then Misti, I'd love for you to add to this. There are some really amazing things about anthologies that I think sometimes people don't see or aren't thinking of that when they think about an anthology opportunity. It's an opportunity that you're able to create content that you get to own. It's your content, and have it published and brought forward. And you're not necessarily having to write a full book to do so and to start having your words make impact out in the world. Also, as the book goes out there and becomes a bestseller or above, guess what? That means you're becoming a bestseller or above. And that can help position you. That can help your words be heard and your wisdom be heard differently, more deeply, more powerfully. It's great positioning. And then you can repurpose that content that you wrote. It can be turned into blogs. It can be turned into a lead generator if that helps. It can become a gift that you give and you share out in the world as you continue to get your message out there as a speaker or someone who's looking to have an ongoing impact. So for myself, when I started on this journey in the publishing world, I participated in a number of anthologies, and I found it very quickly helped me get my message out there to a wide range of audiences and people. It positioned me, and it grew my list dramatically. And I was able to then repurpose the chapter, the content in different ways to continue to grow my list, reach people, and touch more hearts and lives on an ongoing basis. And I found it so powerful, even to this day, leading my own anthology projects. I still choose to participate in other projects as well like this, so I can continue to reach more hearts and lives in a synergistic way because so many people are coming together. So I have a real passion for them. I feel like they can make such a huge difference in the world. And Misti, I would love for you to add your thoughts and your perspective on that as you've participated in one, you're looking at participating in a second.
I think they are an amazing way to have your voice heard, to shine. And I'm sure that there are so many people out there like me who, they are helpers. I'm a helper. And this makes me feel like I am helping. And especially with the topics of the first anthology, Share Your Brilliance, and the second one, Wisdom from the Heart, it makes me feel like I am helping, like I am making a difference. And I am not I'm not a speaker. I love what I do. I have no desire to become an influencer or anything like that. And this may be something that calls to somebody who is just like me, who doesn't want to be an influencer. But it can call to both. If that's your desire, that you want to be an influencer, you want to increase your range, your scope of who you're visible to, it's a great way to do that. I know that, I get offers all the time to talk on podcasts. It's not something that I've done until right now. So I have turned away opportunities to put myself out there. And a lot of it is due to the fact that I want my focus to be our authors. But an anthology is just an amazing, amazing way to be heard. And especially this one, because it can be anything. How to balance your life, business, relationships, positivity, which I'm sure you kind of figured that mine would be heavily focused towards that.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing. I appreciate that. And I love that it's an opportunity that can serve both those who are looking to increase their influence and those looking to have their words make a difference, whether they're called to be in that influencer space or not, that we can all share wisdom learned. And there's a friend of mine, Kathy Davis, who says this a lot. I'm paraphrasing, but wisdom learned and not shared is lost forever. We have an opportunity to choose to share our wisdom, things we have learned, we have gone through, that we can impart and share that wisdom with others. And anthologies are one way that you can do that. And I want to invite all of you, because I know each of you have amazing wisdom in your heart, in your spirit, to find a way to bring that forward. And perhaps this anthology, we'd love to invite you to consider to be part of it. We'd love to have you take a look at it and see if it's something that is a fit for you, it calls for you. We'll let you know how to do that in a moment. But I also want you to, if it isn't that right fit for you, find that right fit, find that way to bring your wisdom forward. It is absolutely needed in the world. That is part of how we make a difference, how we can start to create that positive change, that positive ripple in the world, is by being willing to be seen, being willing to share our heart wisdom with others. Anything you would add to that, Misti?
No, I think that's perfect. You need to, I think everybody, as I said before, everybody has a story and everybody has something that they can share and that can make a difference in somebody else's life. And I think that if this isn't perfect for you, if wisdom from the heart is not something that calls to you, find what does call to you and share.
Beautiful. We are getting ready to go to our next commercial break. And as we do so, listeners, I want you to feel in and see what is pulling you forward, what is speaking to your heart, what is calling you to start to share your wisdom, your heart, your spirit, your gifts. And we'll continue our conversation in just 2 minutes.
Voice America is on your favorite smart speaker. If you have Alexa or Google Home, go ahead and give us a try.
Hey Alexa, play Finding Your Frequency podcast on TuneIn.
Announcing a powerful new TV channel featuring programs designed to enhance and transform your life. Make powerful connections, one program at a time. And by doing so, we can bring transformation to the world. Tune in each week to Empowered Connections TV as we add new programs to help you make empowered connections of your own. Visit empoweredconnectionstv.com. That's empoweredconnectionstv.com. And make the most of an incredible life transformation.
You need to live up to your full potential. You've heard that for years, but now there's a channel to help you get there. Introducing the Voice America Empowerment Channel. Our listeners have told us that they want to be motivated, hear about success stories, and positive encouragement around the clock. And we've responded to you. The Voice America Empowerment Channel is the home of the world's top life coaches, entrepreneurs, and success experts. Listen to the Voice America Empowerment Channel. It's here at voiceamericaempowerment.com.
Rebecca Hall Gruyter's Speaker Talent Search is looking for speakers wanting to get on more stages. With just one audition, you could open the doors to hundreds of speaking opportunities, reach more people, and expand your impact. Finalists get to audition live in front of leaders looking to fill all kinds of speaking opportunities. Apply now at speakertalentsearch.com. That's speakertalentsearch.com. We look forward to hearing your message.
Find out what makes the most successful people tick. Keep listening to the Voice America Empowerment Channel. voiceamericaempowerment.com.
You're listening to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter. If you have a question or comment for Rebecca or her guest, we'd love to hear from you. Please call into the program at 1-888-346-9141. That's 1-888-346-9141. You may also send an email to Rebecca at yourpurposedrivenpractice.com. Now back to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope you enjoyed those 2 minutes and had an opportunity to really consider what are some ways that you can bring your wisdom from the heart forward. What's pulling you forward? What's prompting you? What are some ways you may be able to bring that forward? Misty and I were talking behind the scenes, and we're very excited about this anthology and how it's coming forward. And we hope that a lot of people out there are feeling that pull and that call to be part of it. But I also want you to feel our heart desire in this is whether or not this particular anthology opportunity is right for you, we want you to find that way forward for you. I want you to feel that urgency to bring your message, your heart, your spirit forward, because it's absolutely needed in the world. Like, you were made for such a time as this. You are a gift. And the biggest gift you can give the world is more of you. So I want to invite you to find those next steps forward, to bring your message forward, to be willing to speak your heart, wisdom and experience and insight into others. Be willing to be that and share that with the world. Now, for those of you who are interested and want to know more about this particular anthology, Wisdom from the Heart, we're going to share the next step in that. So there's a couple of ways forward to learn more about it. One, you can send an email to Misty. And Misty, can you give your email address?
It is Misty, MISTI, at yourpurposedrivenpractice.com. So it's Misty at yourpurposedrivenpractice.com.
Beautiful. So you'll be able to personally reach out to Misty, and she'll share the direct link with you so you can see all the details, see if that's something that continues to call to you, and lean in, and then we'll be able to take those next steps with you. And for those of you who would like to have a deeper conversation about this project, or maybe another that you're also looking at bringing forward, I'm always happy to support, encourage, and help you with that. Navigate those next steps. You are welcome to go to my calendar. I don't share this link very often, so I'm sharing it today, that you can go to my calendar and schedule a time, a direct meeting with me. You can go to meetwithrebecca.com. meetwithrebecca.com to schedule a personal meeting with me to review and look at what you're looking at bringing forward. That is part of my commitment today, to really help support and encourage you in finding those next right steps forward for you and your journey. You can always send an email, Rebecca at yourpurposedrivenpractice.com and Misty at yourpurposedrivenpractice.com. We are here to support you, encourage you, and help you find that way forward for you and all that you are called to bring forward. It is so needed in the world. And Misty, do you have any final thoughts or shares on your heart you'd like to bring forward today?
Number one, I would be thrilled to talk to anybody about wisdom from the heart. It is near and dear to my heart. So I would love, if you have questions, please, I encourage you, email me. I'll be glad to talk to you as well. But my final, one thing that I definitely want to put out there is about positivity. And positivity is, it's like having a good relationship, and it takes work. And one of the ways to live a positive life is to put it out there, to put positivity out there. And this is a great way to do it. Actually being a part of this anthology or something else that calls to you where you can share what you've learned and help others. There's no better feeling than being able to help somebody with your words.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful, Misty. Thank you so much for sharing. I appreciate you joining us today and sharing your heart, your spirit, your experience with us. And I hope, listeners, you have enjoyed getting to know Misty a little bit and that you're really leaning into seeing what is that best way forward for you to bring your message, your wisdom to the world. I have one other opportunity that I think can also be a great avenue for those of you who are called to be speakers, to speak your message, to share it out in that way. One of the things that we are proud to bring forward, it's called the Speaker Talent Search. You've probably heard it in a couple of the commercial breaks. Speaker Talent Search. It's an opportunity with one application process to have your message reviewed and heard by people who are looking for speakers and experts and people to have on their shows or on their summits. I encourage you to check that out as well. So we're here to support the speakers and the writers or those who want to be writers and speakers. I encourage you to check out both of those opportunities. Find the best way forward for you. Take a step today, not someday, today, to help you bring your message forward. I believe people are out there waiting for your voice. They're waiting for your message. They're waiting for what you have discovered and learned. And nobody else can share it just like you. Be willing to share that gift of who you are. Find that best way forward for you. Share the amazing wisdom that you have discovered and learned. And together, as we do this, as we trust the world with our messages and what we've learned, it helps make the world a better place. Heart by heart, life by life. We can send that wisdom, that love, that inspiration from our heart to each of you and to all of those around the world that are willing to receive. So as you get ready to go back out into the world, I want to invite you to take a couple minutes just for you. Listen to what's being laid on your heart. Be willing to take a step forward. Be willing to bloom where you're planted and to shine. Share the gift of who you are out into the world, heart by heart, life by life. Have an amazing week, everyone, and we'll look forward to talking to you next time.
Thank you for joining us this week for Empowering Women, Transforming Lives. Please tune in again for another edition with your host, Rebecca Hall-Gruyter, next Thursday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, 10 a.m. Pacific, on the Voice America Empowerment Channel, with a replay on Sunday at 4 p.m. Eastern and 1 p.m. Pacific on the Voice America Variety Channel. Have a beautiful week, and may you always bloom where you're planted and shine.